Hey guys,
Hey. Nice.
thanks a lot for all the joining. Meet Doug, meet Stefan. Sorry about the small technical hiccups on the Zoom side. Yeah, thanks a lot for taking the time. Excited to have you all here. And Stefan, maybe you will start while we are
Yeah,
waiting for
I'll
everyone.
do a short intro for everyone, then the agenda is gonna be like this. Well, Oleg will go first with Go Extrovert, then we're gonna be doing a little bit of a recess. I'm gonna show how I personally use Go Extrovert and doing ABM for like mindful commenting. And then we'll dive into Doug's presentation, and then how we actually had a short session with Oleg and Doug yesterday, where we were like, wow, what the fuck? It was so crazy, so great. Well, you can call it the mini automation you can do with ContactLevel. I think you guys are all gonna love it. And you can also, the good part of it is that you can use it for ABM motion. So you target accounts, it's very small, like a segment you can create out of it, and they're very well targeted on Meta. So Doug was showing us something like you spend $150 for targeting on Meta per month, which is completely crazy. All right, without further ado, so my name is Stefan. I'm a specialist in ABM, account-based marketing, and the long sales cycles. Been in the industry for 10 years now, plus generated over 100 million in pipeline with account-based marketing. I have here two guests. One of them is Oleg. I guess there is going to be a best if they intro themselves. Oleg, do you do who you are? What do you do in
Yeah,
short?
yeah. Thanks a lot for having me, Stefan. Super excited to be here, guys. Yeah, I am the founder of Extrovert. Extrovert is a nurturing and warm outbound tool for LinkedIn. I've been in this area for more than 2 years now, and I'm very bullish on non-transactional, non-spammy approaches. And yeah, I think a lot of guys here are aware about Extrovert and had used the tool. If not, I'll be showing how to do it, and we will also give some presents to people who haven't tried the tool after we finish. So yeah,
Also ich bin
excited to
jetzt in
be
einem
here.
Meeting, also vielmehr, das ist ein,
Yeah, so uh,
Yeah,
um, please mute yourselves. Yeah, because yeah, super sorry. So excited to be here, and yeah, let's do it. Deck, maybe you can introduce yourself next.
yeah.
Hey, nice to meet you all. I'm Dag, one of the co-founders of ContactLevel. We allow you to push ads to your outbound lists, which then, turns outbound and inbound into wallbound. Yes, that's about it. I'll share the details later, of course.
Doug is very humble. You can do some crazy stuff with the tool. So stay tuned. It's gonna be after probably minute 30. So let's start, Oleg. Let's go with your Go Extrovert. What do you have for us?
Yeah. So yeah, the topic of today's workshop basically is zero spam founder-led sales. So that's what I would be talking about. And please don't hesitate to ask your questions in the chat. And please, let's make it a little bit more interactive and less boring, because we don't want to just ramble for the whole hour. And if you guys want to say something or ask something, Stefan will be helping me in the chat, and just don't hesitate to drop your questions. So the first thing I want to say is the main idea of all this is, in my view, is to stay away of being transactional as possible, and the other thing is to make as many touch points, as many light touch points with your ICP, with your prospects. And this is not for every market. Obviously, if your total addressable market is huge, if you're, if you target really big markets, if you target low ACV, this approach won't probably be the best one, because obviously in this situation, you probably want to go for volume more, but you can play with it with different stages of the funnel, and I will be showing you how you can use this approach at the beginning, at the top of the funnel, and or at the middle of the funnel when you already get a reply from a sequencer, for example, or not. So basically, the approach that we preach, that we do, that we use for ourselves and for our users as well, is social first. So our main channel is LinkedIn. And the reason for this is that a lot of people are already on LinkedIn, and it's much less saturated than cold email or cold calls even. And you can get much higher reply rates, like 4 or 5 times higher reply rates than on email. And if you do it right, if you do it like with warming up, you can get even like 50-60% reply rates. That's what we got for ourselves for specific campaigns. And the idea is super simple. You want to reach out to people when they already know you. So in my view, the main thing about outbound is your name. So if they recognize your name from somewhere, if you reach out, your copy doesn't matter very much. If your list is solid, you will get quite good success. And the obvious ways to do it is 2 things. So you can produce content, you can do comments on LinkedIn. So our tool, the tool that we built, will help you with engagement, will help you with comments. And I will just show you a couple of ways how I'm using it in my outreach flows or in my reactivation or nurturing flows. So basically, this is the how Extrovert looks like, and this is just the custom feed that it builds for me. And it's different from LinkedIn's feed because LinkedIn feed is algorithmic. It shows you stuff that LinkedIn thinks that you need to see, but it's not very strategic. Here, you only see stuff coming from people that you want to nurture, that you want to care about. So I have several campaigns in here. I have outreach campaign, I have long-term nurture campaign, I have reactivation campaign. Those are all my outbound motions, but they are different strategies. So this one is for my cold leads, this one is for my not now leads, this one is for the leads that I already had a conversation with. And the idea is super simple. We want everything to be as much streamlined as possible. We don't want to make a lot of decisions when we use the tool, or when we not even, it's not about the tool itself. It's about the process mostly. So you want to set up process that is very streamlined, because if we are talking about founder-led, obviously this is the founder who is owning the process, and founders had a lot of stuff on their plate, and if the process will take you 1 hour, 2 hours per day, probably it will be super hard to do it consistently. So that's why we built this, and this is how it looks like. So I have my long-term nurture campaign. I have a specific list of leads inside this campaign that I follow. And Extrovert builds the feed for me from content coming from these leads. I have engagement metrics for them, so I can see whether I'm connected to them, whether I commented, how often do they post. I see their posts, I see the summary of the post, and I see the draft for me. Nothing is posted without my approval, so it's not like a sequencer. We call it a suggestion-based approach. So you have a suggestion, you kind of, you choose whether you like it or not, and you just nurture them with comments. So you comment on their posts, you get familiar with them.
Oleg, sorry, I have a question. So could you explain who are your nurture lists? What? Just want to understand, want to explain to everyone here what's the logic behind, right? So who are these people, and why do you keep them in different groups, right? I think this is very important strategically.
Yeah. This is a good point. So basically, not getting into super details and not being super, because we won't have time for this, but basically you have different stages of your funnel, and you have different strategies behind your engagement. The strategies can differ. The main difference is the frequency of your touch points, because if you do the outreach, you probably want your touch points to be rather frequent, like once in 3 days, once a week, right? Even if your prospects post very unevenly, like some of them will post once per month, some of them will post once per day. If you just go to your feed and you comment on everything you see, you will stalk the people who post very frequently. You don't want that. So you set up the frequency, and the frequency is different for different stages of the funnel and for different, your goals. For example, for my outreach, my goal is to get the initial reply. That's my cold audience or evergreen audience that visited my profile, visited my website, replied to my cold email, whatever. But for example, for long-term nurture, my goal is different. Long-term nurture is a different audience. This is the audience that had a demo with me. Maybe they had a trial. Maybe they are a important prospect, important account that I want to spend more time on. And my kind of strategy is more long-term. So my strategy there in my feed settings, my touch point frequency might be like monthly or even bi-monthly. So my strategy is just be in touch on the very long time frame, basically until they buy. And the reactivation might be another strategy that you can use. And the idea here is super simple. You export your leads or your connections from LinkedIn or from your CRM that you at some point had a conversation with. You match them against your ICP to find out whether they are fit or not. And you upload them in here, you nurture them for a while, you DM them, and your goal is to reactivate some part of them to basically restart the conversation, do a demo with them, and in the long run to sell to them. So this is one part of the picture. One part of the picture is comments. You can use comments before you reach out. You can use comments after you reach out to stay consistently top of mind. And the other part of the picture is DMs. Obviously, it is the super important part of it because people will not buy just from comments. You need to be direct. You need to message them. But the issue with DMs is that very often when people set their sequences, especially in founder-led sales where founders don't have a lot of time, they set a sequence for a very short time frame. They set 3-week sequences, 4-week sequences, because they want to spend low effort on the prospect. What I think is that the effort that you spend on the prospect is not equal the length of your sequence. You can actually make the sequence very long, but effort per prospect very low. And how you do it is you streamline your flow. So, for example, I have a DM suggestions feed. I have 63 suggestions, and I don't need to think like, how do I schedule this? I don't need to set any reminder. I don't need to set any any manual process for it. They are just suggested to me based on my rules that I defined. For example, Noam is my prospect. My last DM was last month, and he shared a relevant post 2 days ago. Extrovert is listening to his posts, is reading his post and determining whether it's relevant for me or not. And if it's relevant, if it's something that I can use an excuse to restart the convo, it will show me the draft that I can approve, skip, or I can improve it. So I can basically say, even with my voice, I can say, make it super short, don't reference his post, just ping him. And you can tweak it so you keep it human, but you keep it much faster. The workflow is much more streamlined. So yeah, the basic idea boils down to be staying top of mind and making those touch points until they buy. And in our experience, people come back 6 months after the initial touch points, 8 months after initial touch point. And the buyer journey is very non-linear. A lot of, we have a lot of users who trialed the tool like a year ago, then they see my content, then they see my comments somewhere, and they come back. So the idea is just have a system behind, the return path. We have one partner who calls it the return path, to make them return to you at any point, basically. Does it
Oleg,
make sense, Stefan?
I think, yeah, it does make sense. I'd like you to, so going back to the types of let's say segments you're targeting, right? So you mentioned you have long-term nurture, you have active. Okay, great. Long-term nurture, outreach, evergreen, correct? Reactivation, also great. Topics. Can you explain more the topics? I think we didn't dig enough into topics.
Yeah. So topics is a little bit different topic from today's workflow. It's more about awareness. It's more about inbound. It's more about growing your personal brand. The idea is that you can listen to specific topics on LinkedIn, not across your prospects, but across the whole platform. Like, for example, for me, it's my brand mention, extrovert, it's commenting, LinkedIn outbound, nurturing, this kind of things. And you can be a part of this conversation. So you can just go and comment under posts around these topics. Just an easy way to, be inside those conversations that your customers are probably a part of. And the creators is, you just comment on be creators to get more visibility. But I want to come back to this, strategies, long-term nurture, outreach, and reactivation, and maybe share a couple of ways that this approach can be used. So how I view it is that you always need to balance volume with manual quality. And obviously, going to 2026 and later on, so 2027, manual quality matters more and more because, all channels are saturated. People can sniff sequences. If I get a sequence, I immediately know that this is a sequence, especially if you sell to salespeople who are doing this themselves. They can, sniff it. So, but manual scales poorly. So you need to have quite some kind of balance between automating this stuff and set it and forget it kind of approach, and the manual approach where you on one side of the spectrum, it's very manual, very non-scalable, super expensive basically to maintain, and on the other side of the spectrum, it's very automated and basically spray and pray. So how do you balance it? I think it's the answer is different for different industries, for different buyer personas, and for different total addressable markets and ACVs. How I view it is that there are basically two ways of doing it. So first way of doing it is to do your SDR work, is to do your cold outreach within this semi-manual approach. So you just don't use a sequencer, you just do it here. Or it doesn't matter if you use Extrovert or you use any kind of other tool. There are some other tools on the market. You can use a CRM. You can do it manually in SalesNav as well. But the whole idea is that you use manual or semi-manual approach to reach out. The upside of it is that it will give you much higher results. So as I've said, we normally see 3-4 times more higher reply rates among our users. The downside of it is that it's manual. It's hard to maintain volume as you would probably can with a sequencer. The other approach, what you can do is that on top of funnel, you can have a sequence. You can have cold email, which is super scalable. You can have a cold sequence on LinkedIn as well, which is also quite scalable if it's automated, but you nurture the replies. And the trick here is that even if you have high reply rate, the people who reply to you is much fewer, much fewer number of people, much easier to maintain. And they're much more valuable because now you can spend more time to nurture them and activate them to book a demo with you.
Oleg,
Yeah.
sorry, can you show us the DM suggestions? I think this is super cool because it gives you, first of all, a signal. And now let me just wrap up a little bit.
Yeah.
So what the tool has, and I personally love it a lot, because it has also, so now maybe you guys saw that a lot of the outreach nowadays, a lot of the sales work nowadays is based on signals. So you're looking for a signal that like it's different from intent, right? A signal could be something like, for example, 8th of March is coming. It's the International Women's Day. That could be a signal for you to reach out and congratulate someone. If you're doing long sales cycles, congratulate with the 8th of March. You're looking for a reason to outreach, a reason to start sort of like to talk to them, right? And here, what the tool does, as you can see, Oleg here, wonderful example. Mansi shared a relevant post 4 days ago about his success, 0 meetings 2023, now closing 6-figure deals via LinkedIn. I share a 50-page guide to killer DMs, objections, relationship building. This is great because like it gives you a correct outlook. You don't have to go research manually into LinkedIn what this person post when about what. This gives you like an angle. So if you can actually go where do you can change the context? Oleg, can you show in a second?
Yeah.
There was like where
Yeah, this all is based on your playbook. So it's not just, blindly reiterates on the post content or on your previous conversation content. It knows your style and your context. So you can change your playbook, and you have the playbook for comments, and you have the playbook for DMs, which is like the playbook that you would normally share with your human SDR or appointment setter or a person. So it's here goes your links, your value prop, your how you handle objections, your resources, your use cases, those kind of things, your social proof. So it knows all this stuff. It knows how you write, and it kind of tries to uh, um, infuse these things into the signal that it catches. So, for example, here, this person, Mansi, she shared some kind of the lead magnet, and the angle of my message is not just the template message, but it said, "Oh, I saw you shared this lead magnet, and it's actually relevant to what I'm doing. Here is a little bit of a pitch what I'm doing, and basically a CTA." So yeah, just makes it easier.
Yeah. So this is great because one, what are you achieving with this? First of all, you're building awareness on the top of the funnel. So I had a lead recently reach out, and he said, Craig, he said literally, I saw your comment on an influencer post. I liked the comment, and then I reached out because of that. Right. So like by commenting, you're creating that awareness on the top of funnel. So you're creating inbound, and by creating all that inbound, you easily can then slide into DMs. Oleg, can you please show the DMs again? I want to explain a little bit. So nowadays, a lot of the channels are super, super full. So what you do is that besides mindful commenting, which could be the initiation into a discussion later on, because I guess you guys are all in some long sales cycles, right? Like 3 months and longer. You also kill two birds with one stone by having another flow, which is partnership led sales or influencer led sales, about which we're so based on the research that I saw been done this year, around 35 to 40% of the marketing budget will be spent this year on influencer-based sales. So you can create a different track, a different sort of a playbook for like direct sales target, right? So like active like contacts, then future pipeline, someone who is not ready to buy right now. That would be probably more than 90% of your pipeline. With them, you can work by nurturing them in comments, right? And the part three is like the partnership sales. So let's say influencers like me or partners who potentially have your audience, but you're not selling to them directly. You could have a different playbook for them. Let's say you want to do some content co-creation some webinar like this one, for example, between Oleg and Dag, right? And this is how you sort of like you show to their audience your product, and then they show your product to their audience. So you sort of like pat each other on the back, you exchange audiences, and then you, as a result, you can sell more, right? Because you increase the exposure for all of this, right? So this is how it all works. Yeah, okay. Thank you, Joanna. Yeah, do watch the recording. Okay. Cool. Oleg, did you want to add anything?
I think I think it's fine. Thanks. I'm really excited about the stuff that Doug wants to share, because I think it very nicely fits to the organic side of things. So what we are working on is organic. Doug is kind of pushing this even forward with paid ads. And we were prepping for the webinar yesterday, and the stuff that he showed me, and Stefan, was like insane. So I'm super excited to hear his part. And yeah, let's do it. I think it fits together very nicely.
So, wait, we need to unmute him.
Yeah. Can you unmute
Okay.
now?
Thanks. Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for the amazing intro. So yeah, I'm a fan of Extrovert. Extrovert's really good for, nurturing those specific people. But what do you do if you have a target list of 20,000 people, 50,000 people? You can't just comment on all their stuff, right? So to get more volume, we would run paid ads at the list. So the idea behind it is that your prospecting lists see the ads every day. So they keep seeing your branded ads, they keep seeing your LinkedIn post, keep seeing your video ads, stuff like that. So you get more volume, so you stay top of mind at all times. So I'm not much of a talker, so I'll just jump straight into the screen sharing. Yeah, so you can see my screen, right? So this is the platform, ContactLevel, which allows you to turn any contact list into an ad audience. So you guys have probably heard about clay audiences. So it's kind of the same thing, except we also have the tracking on the contact level and the company level. So you can see who clicks your ads. So first you build an audience, show them the ads, and then you see who is clicking, who is interested, and then you can turn on your extrovert flows and reach out to these people. So how it works is you build an audience by doing a new audience here. Then let's go into an audience here. I'll go into an actual audience that we're running right now. This is our actual retargeting audience. So here we add everyone we have spoken to, so all our champions and their closest team members after we had a discovery call. So this way we can, nurture the rest of their team. They also see us when the champion goes to their team, starts talking about, in our case, ContactLevel, the team already knows what they're talking about. It's, familiar. They've been seeing ads for the past 2 weeks. And yeah, that's how you get a lot higher reply rates. The deals move faster since you're not only, relying on one touch point. So, the champion nurturing the buying group. So extrovert for the champion, ads for the rest of the buying group. That's how we run it. So you can see here, we have a list here, kind of looks like a clay table. What you do is you go to sources. You can hook up your HubSpot, your Salesforce, or use our prospector. So you can pull C-suite people here. This is a whole database of contacts. You can also upload your own contacts. So you can upload a CSV of LinkedIn URLs, so profile URLs, or work emails, or personal emails. So it doesn't really matter which data point you upload. We just need one data point, and then all the enrichment happens on the back end. We fill in location data, gender, their mom's name, country, mobile ad IDs, hashed emails, stuff like that. And then you get the data strength. If it's green, it means we can target those people. Then you go to syncs, hook up the ad accounts. So you have to set up your ad accounts separately. So if you don't have ad accounts, there are probably a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do that. To set up an ad account, you sync the audience to your ad accounts, and now your ads audience will show up in your ads manager. So here in LinkedIn Ads Manager, you can see it's the same audience. I have selected here. You can select any contact level audience right in the Ads Manager. So you just select it, and now you can run ads to this list with super high match rates. So the match rates are on LinkedIn around 80 to almost 100%. On Meta and Google and those platforms, it's around 60 to 70% on average. So it works the same on Meta. So I can just select all my audiences here, select an audience. Now I'm targeting this list with ads. For the creatives, on LinkedIn, we run boosted posts. So all my LinkedIn posts that I post, I don't really care about the organic engagement. I just post and then put a link in it immediately, and then start running ads using that post as a creative. So you can see our best performing ad this month is actually just the text posts. Like your teammate already talked with us. Like we hit the buying group with this ad after the meeting, and that makes the deal move forward a lot quicker. So if I can scroll here, doesn't let me. Okay. So you can see dwell time, like they're staring at the ad for 12 seconds. Yeah, and high click rates. And we can also see who is clicking on the ads. So if we go back to contact level here, go to
Sorry,
clicks.
Dag, can I just
Yeah.
interrupt you
Ask.
for 1 second? I think you said a really interesting thing. Can you please elaborate? And you said you really don't care about organic reach. And this resonated with me a lot because I'm trying to do founder-led content, and this is hard. This is tough. The algorithm always changes. It is not always nice. You spend 3 hours crafting the post, then you get like 300 impressions or whatever. It's disheartening, and I never thought about this within this angle. So basically, are you saying that we can not even care about the algo, because what I care about is my audience, what I care about is my prospects. I don't care about just random people on LinkedIn. And you basically just ran all your posts through your ads, and you are making sure that everyone who is important to you just sees them.
Yes. So I'm not waiting on the algo to push it to them. I do it myself, and I pay like maybe $50 to do it. So if I go back here to, so $50 to show them this ad. So this is the last 30 days. So I've only spent like $184 in the last 30 days to push all my posts to the people who need to see this post. So I'm trying to influence the whole company, like the whole marketing department, to start with contact level advertising. So the best way to do it is contact level advertising. So whatever you're selling, people, they click on the website, they check it out. If your champion speaks about it, they may review it in a meeting. They will look at the deck, but the deck is dead. It's a PDF. It's like or like PowerPoint. It's like slides. It's static. They don't see the like everything you have on the website. So we're sending people to our playbooks, to the website, to sometimes webinars like this one. So you can advertise anything, and it's not like you're following up, hey, circling back, every week. You're just popping up on their feed every day. So to them it looks like you're a huge company spending a lot on ads. You're always on point. You're there, and people buy from companies and like people they trust. So if you are consistent and reliable and you always show up every day on their feed, you're familiar. So when they are in market to buy a product like yours, they will, most likely go with you if you have a good product. For creatives, so on LinkedIn we run the boosted post. On Meta we get super cheap CPMs. So we run a ton of different ads here. So we have all my LinkedIn posts. I'm also showing them on Meta as ads. So if they don't see them on LinkedIn, I can show them on Instagram, on Facebook, and Threads, and all those platforms. And we also run some video ads and some branded ads to keep the frequency high, get a lot of impressions. And you can see here, I go back to campaigns. We're just spending $5 a day on Meta. So it's not like, you have to have I don't know, 10 million in funding and stuff like that to run ads. If you're running something like demand base or just account level, or you're doing broad ads, then you need to spend a lot to reach the right people. But we cut out 99% of the people that would just waste the ad spend. So we only have the specific people in this campaign, and we are only spending $150 a month to show them an ad 84 times a month on average. So everyone sees an ad, around 3 times a day.
Doug, probably, can you please also answer Reza's question? I
Sorry,
imagine
don't have
the answer
chat
is
open.
yes, but can you please a little bit, maybe elaborate on this part a little bit? Just this means that you can select whom the ads are shown to, right? So we are showing, that's the whole point of the strategy. We are targeting specific group of people, right?
Yes. So I don't see the chat. I know it disappeared. It doesn't open.
So,
But
so,
yeah.
so the question from Reza was that. Thank you, Reza, for the question, sir. So this means you can select whom the ads are shown to, correct?
Yes. So you upload your specific people here. So you see who will be seeing the ads before you launch the ads. So all your ad spend is going to these exact people here in my list. So you can build a list out of anything. You can do the CSV upload. You can also import your segments from HubSpot or Salesforce. So if I go to Salesforce, HubSpot, I can, like, all the fields I have in my HubSpot, I can use to import contacts. You can do, I don't know, first name, and it will pull all the contacts from your CRM, and you can just add them to a segment. So if you have like different pipeline stages and you want to show them different ads, you can move the cold people into one audience, warm leads into another audience, and set it up that way. So you always select who sees the ads, and then you also see when they click on the ads. So you have full control over the ads.
Can you also please speak to Adam's question? He asks, what are the advantages of uploading the target lists via ContactLevel versus natively to the platform? Thanks, Adam, for the question. And yeah, can you also please speak to that one and maybe elaborate also what those lists can be? Like, in your experience, what could be the the lead lists? Like, where do you get them? Are they just the cold lists, or are you using some evergreen lists or something like that?
Yeah, so for the first question, what was the first question?
What are the advantages of uploading the target
advantages,
lists via
yeah.
ContactLevel versus natively on the platform?
Yeah, so when you upload the list natively to, for example, LinkedIn, you only can upload the emails. So you can't upload LinkedIn URLs. And if you upload, work emails, it's not going to match those customer accounts, because nobody uses their work email to sign up to social platforms. So if you use Clay, for example, and you enrich with personal emails, you may get a better match rate, but they still only upload one personal email per contact. So the way our system works, it's a live sync. So the audience is directly connected to LinkedIn, so we can upload a lot more data than just one data point per person. So we sometimes upload 50 to 70 data points, all their personal emails, their device, mobile ad IDs, stuff like that, to identify them on the platform. So you get a much higher match rate. And when you go to other platforms like Meta and Google, nobody uses their work email to sign up to Facebook. Like my Facebook account is, using my old, like, a Hotmail email from, like, back in the day, like 10 years ago. So to find me on the platform, you need to find that email, right? Or another data point, like a Facebook user ID or a device ID or a mobile ad ID, to find me on that platform. So we do all the enrichment for you to get the highest match rate. So yeah, as I said, on LinkedIn, you may get a 50% match rate with, if you have a good enriched list with personal emails, work emails only, maybe 20 to 30. On Meta, it's a lot worse if you don't have the enrichment. So work emails only, maybe 0, maybe 5%. If you're lucky, maybe 10. With personal emails, maybe 20%. So if you're targeting 10,000 people and you're only reaching 20%, you're missing out on 8,000 potential prospects. And to answer the other question, you can run any list. So you can be creative with this, exactly like you do your outreach. So, you can run cold lists, you can source lists from Apollo, SalesNav, you can just like build out your list, import it to ContactLevel and run ads to them. You can also use the prospector. We have a lot of filters here. So, we can pull like technologies from BuildWith and stuff like that. We can see like exactly what CRM they're using, security, stuff, ABM tech. So we use this one. So it's super easy to go after, for example, demand-based users. So there's a lot of filters here, and we have a lot more that we're going to add in. But yeah, you can take any list. It only has to have the LinkedIn URL or work email in the list. And you can also upload account lists. So if you have, just your target accounts, you can upload it here, or you can just, for example, select Google here. And then I want to pull all marketing and advertising employees from Google, do a search, and now I can add them to my audience. I can also stack on, company size, location for the person and for the company, pretty much everything you have on SalesNav and ZoomInfo and stuff like that. So you can build, any list.
That's super interesting. And also, it's just me reacting that, when I hear the word ads, I imagine very specific stuff. So I imagine a creative that is just a picture with, some vague pitch, maybe. It's a picture coming from the company page, or, if it's on LinkedIn, it's posted from the company page. It's just some high level, ad. But this is very different. The name is the same, the name is ad, but it's very different. Even your creatives that you showed is mostly your organic content, right? So it's mostly lead magnets, it's mostly your organic posts.
Yes.
It's mostly also coming from you personally. I have seen some things that are coming from ContactLevel, but a lot of stuff is coming from you, as a person. And I think that's what it makes it work so well, right? So it's basically just enhancing your personal reach and targeting this personal reach to your audience. And in a sense, that's what we do as well with comments. You can kind of,
Yeah, exactly.
direct your reach to your audience. Can you speak to maybe to creatives? Like, what do you think works the best? Like, you probably have tested a whole bunch of things like videos, pictures, lead magnets, those kind of things. What works the best?
Yeah. So the thing is, everything works. When you run it all at scale, you want to have different content because you never know which content people are going to resonate with. Maybe, when I'm buying software, I'm scrolling my LinkedIn feed at times. I maybe, click on some ads or I look at some posts, people recommending, this is our tech stack, for 2026. Then I look into, is this interesting and stuff like that. So you can even, you can write posts to get people to think your way. You can push it in their face every day. They keep reading the content. It's kind of like watching the news. You keep seeing something all the time. And then you form like a perspective of that. So you can just push your. That's totally leadership, but it's like accelerated. You don't have to wait for the organic reach to hit. Most people post really good content, but then you post it, and then you maybe get like 20 likes, 10 likes, and it doesn't like really get all those impressions. Like all your connections don't see your posts because time zone differences or the algo didn't pick it up or something like that. But if you just keep hammering those posts at that audience all the time and your ICP and it's relevant content, then they will consume that content. Even if they just look at it for a couple of seconds and then next day they read the next couple of lines, you're just fucking pushing it all the time. So that's like frequency is the biggest factor here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Adam is asking the question. I still create the actual ad campaigns, creative targeting, etc., on the native platforms, right?
Yes. So you set up a new campaign, for example, here on LinkedIn, we set up a campaign like normal. You select, your countries. You don't really have to do this since, you have the custom audience, but we still do it because we want to filter out some people from, India from this campaign. And then you just go into your custom targeting settings here, remove this. You go into audiences, narrow, go to third party contact, and now the audiences will show up here. So now you can select any audience here, for example, this one. Now you can see I can reach all these people from this list. And then you just run it, on LinkedIn. And you don't have to be a, media buyer to run ads in 2026, especially with this targeting. You just turn it on. I don't even touch the ads most of the time. So every time I post something, I just add that new post as an ad to the campaign. So don't touch the others. So just keep it on all the time. And yeah, let it rip year round, evergreen.
Herb is asking, what is the economics of your platform for 150 bucks ad spend per month? So basically, what 150 gets you?
Yeah,
Do
so
you,
I actually have a
optimize
post.
for clicks? Do you optimize for views? What
Yeah,
kind of
so we just
audience you
do
can get to?
yeah, so we just do like engagement campaigns on LinkedIn because it's pretty much the cheapest, and also we can boost posts. So yeah, I forgot the question. Yeah, you do engagement, and on Meta you do brand awareness. So you choose the cheapest objective because your objective is to just get in front of the people, because they don't really need to click the ad. They don't need to go to my website. Like if they do that, great. But if they just keep seeing my ads all the time, and then that, my product comes up in a meeting, everybody knows about it. It's like some random software nobody trusts, and I don't know, we'll have to look into it. It's like everybody knows what it is. It's like everybody knows what the iPhone is. You keep seeing them all the time. So that's kind of yeah. If
Herb
that
is
answers your
asking,
question.
what is the price of ContactLevel for $150 ad spend? So basically, if he spends 150 per month for ads, how much does he need to pay for ContactLevel?
Yeah. So our plan started. Actually, I'll show the pricing page. So actually, we got rid of our cheapest plan. So these are our plans. But since you guys are on the webinar and you want to test it out, we can do a 50% off for you guys for the first 3 months for this plan. So you're looking at the $500 a month. But you also have a free trial here, 14 days with 1,000 contacts. Just sign up for the trial. Tell us that you were on the webinar and you like the webinar, and then we can add you a couple thousand more contacts so you can really test it out to see that it works. Run ads at your own company or everyone or at prospects. You do whatever, and you'll see that we're not bullshitting you.
Super cool, super cool. What we at Extrovert, we had been experimenting. That's what I was talking about in the beginning. Like whether we should use this, warm up approach, light touch points approach at the top of funnel or at the middle of the funnel. So meaning, is it more like a tool for outbound? Is it more like a tool for cold outreach, like you warm up before you reach out to people, or it's more of a tool to nurture your audience that already had spoken with you, like maybe they replied to your outreach campaign, or maybe they visited your website, or they came from some evergreen channel, like visited your profile or whatever company page. I guess you can do both, but I'm just
Yes.
curious about your about what you seen working like in the real markets, like for different kinds of ICP. Can you please speak to that as well?
Yeah. So we're always testing different stuff, and it's pretty much everything's working because it's like such a new concept. So we have customers who run it like for one use case. We also have customers who run it like for the full funnel. So right now we're developing a way to build dynamic audiences. So when you move customers from, or like you move leads from one pipeline stage to the other, it will move them to another audience. So you don't have to do it manually. But yeah, we have some customers running at that top of funnel. So, they have a list of 20,000 people they want to run cold email to. So they will run ads at them for 2 weeks before the outreach. Then, they run the email campaign and they get a lot higher reply rates and, positive reply rates because they're familiar with the brand and the product. They have kept seeing your ads. They've been seeing your videos, your posts, stuff like that. They already know who you are. So when they see that email in their inbox, it's like, oh, okay, it's this company. And it's the same with cold calling. You're calling them, hey,
Yeah.
it's Dag from ContactLevel. You're like, oh, okay, ContactLevel. Like, I know what that is. It's like not some random company trying to pitch you something cold on the phone.
By the way, fun fact, look at the ad on your top right. It says Impactable LinkedIn Ads Agency, Dag, we caught you. This is
Yeah.
your personalization in place. So if you guys want to see this is not BS, this is right here.
Yeah,
Although-
so this Justin Rose agency, and they're a good
Yeah, they're
relationship
really
with
big
them.
on LinkedIn. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm commenting on his posts very often. Interesting.
And LinkedIn just rolled out this a couple of months ago, like the name personalization. So if you do the custom targeting plus the name personalization, you can hit all your perfect prospects with ads like this. So we can just
Cool.
keep running this type of ads. This placement here on the right is actually super cheap because it doesn't charge you anything unless I click. So Justin has money, so I'll click. But yeah. Yeah, I mean that's how it works. And I didn't cover like half of the product. There's a lot more. For example, the clicks. So this is like the black magic here. So you have a tracking pixel that you put on your website, and when someone from my ads click on a link and land on my website or landing page, I can see like all the sessions. So for example, here, this guy, here we have Pablo has clicked on my ads. You can see activity graph, how long he spent on the site, the referrer, and we can also go into the session. So if you have a strict compliance team, maybe you need to turn this off. But we have a full session recorder of what they did on page. So we see what they did on the page, mouse movement, which pages they visited, stuff like that. We see exactly who it was. So we know the context. So if I want to do outreach to Pablo now, I see that he has already seen the pricing, and he keeps coming back to my website. That means, he has the budget, he's interested, then I can just start a conversation. You can see all the click data on the contact level, obviously, because it's contact level. So you can see all the clicks here, and you can go into Pablo here, and I can see all his visits here. And if I click on this, I can see all the sessions. I can also go into his company. So if you're running a ABM approach like Stefan here, you can see everything on the account level, and you can also go into the account, look at all the team members, and see exactly who from this company has clicked on our ads. For example, Keith here is pretty active. I'm probably going to add him as a connection. And we have, who else? So you get the idea. So you see the total clicks, last visits, stuff like that. So pretty much you can see how engaged the company is. So if everyone is clicking, everybody is coming back, this company is probably interested. So it's first party intent data created by yourself.
Super cool. Super cool. Stefan, I have a question for you. You are running a lot of ABM, and I think all the stuff that we shared, like I don't know about you, Doug, but with us, with all the users that we have, very often the biggest bottleneck that I see, the biggest issue that I see with them is that how do we put this approach in the part of the bigger picture, as a part of the bigger picture, because the tool itself doesn't solve you, it doesn't give you motion. You have to have the whole bunch of stuff. You need to orchestrate this and this kind of things. So can you please speak to what you guys are doing in terms of like what is the minimum kind of tech stack, or maybe not even just this stack of tools, but what is the minimum set of strategies that you would recommend for a founder that wants to run ABM style or founder-led zero spam sales, and what they need to have in place, and maybe how you potentially can help them with that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so first you'll start with the contact level and go extrovert, right? Obviously. Ta-da! And then the next stage, like what I personally tell founders they should use. So, Loom, right? So you could make these personalized videos, then Cloud Code or Cloud Co-work, right? To have all of that in the same place, all your marketing in one place. So you can create maybe content, like maybe like posts or ideas for scripts for, for videos and stuff like that. Probably like a video editor is great. And maybe so there is Go Extrovert, there is contact level in between. I would use a sequencer. Probably depends on what you like. I like, for example, the La Growth machine. I like because it's quiet. Or our friends Oleg from Get Sales are also great. Because you can have enrichment. They can find their email, their LinkedIn account, and then you can send a multi-sequence. If you connect it with Go Extrovert, you can comment, give influence, awareness on the top level. Then when it's the right time, depending on your sequence, you connect it to, let's say, Get Sales, you come up with, you outreach. And at the same time, meanwhile, because you've put you've used Sales Navigator, right? You have a list of all these accounts. You can already use Dag and then put all of that into nurturing, and then like nurture them with ads. Because nowadays, reach is shit. Everyone's commenting, and like through comments. I mean, obviously, you don't really like you can't really influence it. But what you can do is that you can use, let's say, it's contact level to track that. On top of that, there is one more level which I strongly recommend to everyone. So here you have like sort of like a full funnel, but I would recommend, let's say, a trigger, like a intent, or let's call it a signal-based tool, such as like signal-based by my friend Georgi for Netjev, where there is like a few other tools, the Signalist, or there's like a ton of tools like that, which will give you a third party, let's say, signal, like somebody's hired, somebody's fired, somebody wherever, like any changes that would mean for you that company is more likely to accept, or let's say that person, because we buy from people we like, love, and trust, and we see very often. We already spoke about that. Doug spoke a lot about that. You see people on ads, and then they reach out. It's like, oh, I know this guy, like I know this girl. So in this case, you're like creating a full funnel with like those tracking signals on top. Then you go into commenting. It helps you create this lead structure. So you do some lead scoring, right? You score the lead, then you go into commenting. You have all that commenting machine. Then that comes out with contact level. You warm them up, and then when you do the outreach, then you get 40-50% reply rates because they already freaking know you, right? It's like talking to your to your neighbor, because it's like, oh, I see this guy every day, like I speak to him more often than to my mom. Anyway, long story short, this is how it works. So in between probably 3 or 4 tools, you can cover most of it nowadays. I mean, that's how I see it implemented, the best case scenario, like ABM wise.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
but I imagine that there are in the picture that you described, there is a lot of back and forth, orchestration between the tools. Like you should push the leads from one tool to another one, and not even on the tool level, but on the funnel level and on the signal level. So you start with signals, then you funnel the lead somewhere, then you have you funnel them to one place, to another place, and you have to be very intentional about it. And you also need to have a system like, I don't know, Clay or NA10 or some kind of automated system to make it work. From what I hear from our users, this is a challenge for a lot of founders. Like, do you guys help with that? How do you like, can you just consult about it, or can you do done for you, or like who should talk to you? Like, can you help founders with that?
I mean, yeah, that's obvious. Like the data orchestration is I think is the hardest thing on earth right now. I wouldn't do anything super automated because just LLMs lose their shit once every 2 or 3 weeks. You build an automation and then it doesn't work. I'm not talking about like, so you gotta have a backup plan. Definitely can build something like this in house. You just have to be mindful that you have to save your data in like Supabase or like somewhere. I definitely can help you build like an internal, let's call it the internal OS or operational system, like the machine for your outreach slash inbound. You can call it inbound led outbound because in the end this is what you're building. But I guess the question is for Doug as well. Do you guys any help or do you give any help in terms of like data, I guess, orchestration?
Yeah, so we're a data company primarily, so we're always happy to help set up your audiences. If you need help, building lists, you can't, build the lists on the platform. You can't reach those specific people. We're always happy to help you build the lists. One thing we're releasing very soon is AI search for contacts. So you can just chat to it. I want to reach founders of SaaS startups in Europe. With this company size and stuff like that. Or if you don't know exactly who is your ICP, you can just drop in your website. Hey, I'm selling this product. Who is my ICP? Who should I show ads to? And it will pull a list, and it will also explain why you would need those to target those people. I mean, you can also uh, message Stefan. Stefan will help you out if we can't help you out. But
So I'm an official partner, both of Go Extrovert and ContactLevel. If you guys wanna build this whole funnel, then come to me or to the guys, and we'll fix this whole thing for you. Okay?
Yeah. That's the reason I ask is that I think the magic happens is obviously we are product first companies and we care about our side of the story. But for this to work, you should have everything, right? You should have, especially if you have several people in the team. So you not just a founder, but maybe an account exec, maybe an SDR, maybe several BDRs. You need to tie this whole thing together. So you need to have content system, you need to have engagement system, follow-up system, sequencer, contact level ads, website visitor ID, those kind of things. Orchestrating this might be a challenge from the technical standpoint and also from strategic standpoint as well, because you need to always test what works, what doesn't, what kind of leads you get from which channel, what iterate on whether this channel does even make sense, how you qualify them, and I hear those concerns from founders like all the time, and I think this is one of the biggest challenges that people have right now. Personally, cool. I think we are finished with the time. So we even took 4 more minutes. Maybe we have time, like a minute for one last question from the audience. Anyone wants to say something? Like we can give you the mic and bring it up with a camera, or just just shoot us a question, and we'll be wrapping up. While you are coming up with questions, we do have some presents for you for people who attended. So happy to offer 50% first off the first month for Extrovert. We'll share the code in the email with the recording after the call. And Dag, you also offered 50%.
Yes.
Remind me, how was it?
50% off the first 3 months of ContactLevel, so any plan.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Sounds like
And I see the question here, typical mistakes to avoid. Don't overthink it. Like if you're already doing outbound, you already have done some ICP work, you know what their pain points are, what their problem is. Just make some content about it and then run ads with that content. So images or videos or LinkedIn posts, doesn't really matter. You just need to get the right content in front of the right people. That's the whole point of this, So extrovert contact level, it's pretty much the same. We bring it back to first principles. It's getting the right, strings of characters, the right sentences in front of the right people, and doing it regularly, frequently. Keep commenting, keep pushing ads, keep posting, and it will have a big effect on your outbound.
Perfect. That's cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for being here. Super excited about the session. We'll share the recording. Everyone, please have a great rest of Friday and the weekends, and hopefully let's maybe do something together in the following months as well.